Hey chatters, greetings, welcome. For any of you that don't know, my name is Brendan and I am the host of the DevChatter live stream here on Twitch. I'm going to do a quick intro, got about 2 minutes. I do have ads, the in-stream ads turned on so that people that join us should not get ads when they get here. So if anybody ever does get an ad when they're joining, let me know and I will try to make sure that we get that fixed so that we're not getting those. But we're going to have that first one pop up in about 90 seconds-ish. So I want to do my intro before that, and I'll kind of refresh the intro afterwards as well. So for those of you that are new here, welcome. We are a stream that is very inviting, and we have a community in Discord as well that are also just a nice place to ask questions and talk to other people. It's not a substitute for Stack Overflow, but in terms of discussions about different tech and things like that, what people are interested, what's going on in the tech world, it is a good place for that. Okay, so let's talk about what's going on today. Actually, let me see if the ad started. Is the ad going? Ad starts in 50 seconds. Okay, so for those of you that don't know, JetBrains released the preview version of a new editor. Now, JetBrains is a company that both builds editors for developers. They've got, IntelliJ IDEA, etc. And for like C#, they have Writer. And in a lot of ways, they get tech specific. I don't know Fuel Snable. I haven't looked into it yet. This is my, first look. They say that it's built from that it's fresh from the ground up. But what I don't know is if it's built on Electron or what the basis is of it. I got about 10 seconds till that first ad. But then as soon as it's over, we're going to dive in taking a look at this. I do know that they're not basing it on one of their previous ones, though. So, and here goes the ads. If you are subscribed, you should not be getting ads right now. So any subscribers that are in here, we get to hang out for like 90 seconds. It says starting soon. It didn't start yet. What are you doing, Twitch? You lying to me? You're making me look bad. Anyway, I'm not sure who's getting those. But that is a good question. Let me pull it up and we'll take a look. Let's say Jet. What are you doing? JetBrains Fleet. Okay. So this is JetBrains Fleet in theory. Did the ads even start? I haven't seen them. Ah, there we go. Excellent. So that should be running the ads right now. And then as soon as they're done, that should disable ads for other people, which will be fantastic. Okay, so I will dive into this one. One easy tell is if the app starts at least 5 processes. That's a good question. How many processes are running in Fleet? Greetings, welcome everyone. If you're just coming in, or if you're a subscriber, you're not watching ads right now. I'll try to make sure people don't miss content just because they're watching ads. But I will talk a little bit while we're in these breaks. There's a small toolbar icon that used Electron to drive the toolbar. Okay. So I guess the thing I'm wondering, so I took a look at Fleet. I'm going to answer this question for Fuel Snable when he gets back, because I don't think Fuel Snable can watch these. I don't... Yeah, exactly. Yes. Okay, so... All right, yeah, ads. I know, right? Yeah. Yeah, ads. All right, so, but hopefully that has now eliminated ads for anybody who is coming into the stream fresh and doesn't know about us already. So welcome everyone, welcome, greetings. If you just got through the ad break, sorry about that. That's the only way that we can disable the pre-roll ads. I hate the pre-roll ads because a lot of people bounce and don't even come into the stream if I'm running pre-roll ads. So they make you run ads in the middle of the stream if you want to disable the pre-rolls. I kind of wish they would let us decide. The us here is like Twitch will run ads unless the streamer runs ads periodically. So I have it scheduled to run ads at the basis that Twitch requires to disable the pre-rolls. So it's kind of an annoying thing. So we as the streamer have to, so, you know, like the streamers on Twitch have to do that. Also, I apologize. I'm going to be terribly distracted today. I am a Cleveland sports fan, and my team is in the my favorite sports team from since I was a kid is currently in the playoffs, competing against the New York Yankees. So anyway, without jumping into what's going on with Twitch ads, let's look at JetBrains Fleet. So I just installed it right before we got started here, so I can take a look at it. I haven't really dug into it yet, and I want to kind of go through it all with all of you, so that we can see and react to things as we get to it. So right now, this is just the public preview version. So right now, they have a free version that's available to us. It sounds like they're going to have paid versions in the future and free versions at some point. I don't know what that's going to look like. I'm hoping that whatever the free version is like the vast majority of what's there. I'm really hoping it's not a VS Code clone. I'm hoping they took a different design direction. And the reason I say that is VS Code does what VS Code does very well. So unless JetBrains is planning on taking a different direction, really prioritizing certain types of development, then I don't think it's going to go very far. So we'll see. Hey Grumpy. Glad to see everybody's in chat. I didn't really acknowledge everyone, but welcome. Glad to see you're all here. We're just taking a look at JetBrains Fleet today. So, okay. So first answer to your question, I looked and there was only a single process running for Fleet. So what that means, I'm not sure. Searching for Electron doesn't yield anything. I'm sorry about the Windows beeps there, everyone. I like to keep the sounds on just in case I'm showing stuff where it's required, so you do get Windows sound, so I apologize for that. That was my computer, not yours. I do know that kind of stuff gets confusing. Okay, so the one thing that I am really interested in seeing, that I'm not planning on testing today, but I do really want to know how it works, is they're talking about collaboration, and I saw they had a little video on here that showed, yeah, this little screen here shows multiple cursors, which is, by the way, my favorite thing. I don't know if you all remember, long time ago, Microsoft built a thing called the Surface computer. And now before you start thinking I'm talking about the Surface, which is their tablet, I am not. I am talking about their Surface computer, which had the name because it was a surface. Like, they literally built a table that was a computer. And you're just kind of sitting there like, why would you build this? And it was funny. Yeah, okay, so Fuel Stable is thinking about it. Yes, the table. So I don't know how many of you actually ever got to use those. I got to use them at a couple of Microsoft events, and it's an interesting concept. I like the idea of a fairly advanced machine that can do that. Sure, that's fine. But right, like, they're just basically building a tablet into a table, which is, okay, sure, awesome, cool. Go ahead and do that. I mean, they were talking about, like, wanting to put it at bars and stuff, like the whole, the countertop of the bar would all be a computer. It's like, yeah, you could do that. That'd be fun and interesting. But the takeaway I had from that was this. So I was thinking, you know what? That has, like, because what they had was, they had lots of inputs at the same time. It was ridiculously expensive. Yes, no one was ever going to buy it. But, like, what I liked is, from a tech perspective, you could put, like, all 10 fingers yourself and someone else could, and I'm just like, I'm like, you know what? I wonder how this would work for, like, what I was thinking is, like, how well could you build, like, a collaborative thing, like, a conference table that allowed, not necessarily like full conference table, but like a large table, and you could set screens up on it, and like that could be like, the interface with it. And I was sitting there thinking, I'm like, you know what? I was like, because they could put like, digital keyboards on here, and you could get multiple people typing. And I sat there thinking, I'm like, you know what? They have multiple inputs, multiple cursors. I'm like, well, why don't we just have that in Windows? And so I was talking to some of the Microsoft employees there, and I was like, who do you know on the Windows team? Because the thing that needs to happen in a new version of Windows is just built-in support for the idea of having multiple cursors and keyboards. Yeah, it's messy. I agree, Ocular. It is messy. But I was sitting there thinking, like, man, if you could get that, like, baked into the OS somehow, like, figure out how to do it, like, even then the idea of, having some of them be virtual ones coming in like this, so you could get the effect of multiple people controlling the same computer at the same time. It could be, almost like the equivalent of having, the terminal concept again, where, like, my workstation doesn't have to be powerful because we're going in there, and then, like, you and I could collaborate real time. And so that's what I was thinking back in the day. Now we have solved that by just doing this with the minimal network communication between our IDE to allow them to remain in sync, and that works fine. So the live share solution is a better one. I'm just pointing out that, like, I was like, why don't we just have this? Because back in the day, for all of my pair programming, we were putting multiple keyboards and multiple mice at individual computers and big monitors, and so that, like, two people could pair program at a machine together. But now, everybody's remote, and so that's not as critical anymore. Hey, Mario, thank you for the Mario Maza, I'm guessing. And if I mispronounce any names, let me know, and I will try to say it better. I apologize, I don't mean to. But welcome. Yeah, that'd be super weird, Ocular. Virtual hungry hippos, people slapping the surface. Yes. So the Surface computer was an interesting bit of tech. Not something very practical. Okay, so what I love here is we're seeing nice little interface. That looks like a great way to be able to see where everybody's cursor is. I like that they're showing one key thing. I really like the fact that they are showing you a split window view so you can watch what multiple people are doing. So if you have a couple of people collaborating across a couple of files, being able to spread those out and see the multiple cursor inputs and multiple windows at the same time. I believe LiveShare does the same thing, but it's nice to see. And it's very obvious who's connected, their colors. Their interface, looking at this, looks very clean. Now, I have it running, it's installed, it's right here. I'm just looking at the sample that they show us now. Someone had asked a question. A couple of things I did note when looking at this is the languages they show here. They say, like, they list a few and say and more, but it's always telling which languages a company will show first, right? So, like, starting with Python, Java, JavaScript, and C#, like, okay, so you're really trying to get, like, the more traditional audience here, because the first ones, they're not listing, Go, Kotlin, whatever, like the Rust, like, those don't seem to be the focus. Yes. So that's what I was thinking, is Java is listed before C#. So I was thinking, okay, so maybe they're thinking of this as like their replacement, like main browser to kind of, or editor to, stop with the IntelliJ and the writer. Basically, is that like, are they thinking that those are going away and this is the future? I don't know. I'm trying to predict what they're telling us here. We're in preview still, so we don't have all the answers. And okay, so let's jump in and take a look at the code then. So we've got this. Create a file, open a thing, clone from Git. Well, let's clone something from Git then. What do I want to clone? What's that? Does he have sample code? Hang on. Guy, you don't have sample code? Dang it. Not a dinosaur, please. Yeah, writer for C and C#, IntelliJ for exactly. It's okay. So you don't think they're doing that? They're thinking that this is okay. I mean, I've got repos. I've got tons of repos. I was just going to grab a kata so we would have something to play with, but... You know, you grab a clone of fresh kata into a folder and just work on it. But we could just grab something. Alright, hang on a sec. Doop. Let's grab... how about... DevChatter, we could maybe grab Interactive 7. Is that in here, or is that back in the GitHub folder? GitHub. Interactive 7. Wonder what happens if we open this. I don't have the solution, but let's see what it does with this. Okay. Open Interactive 7 source. Open that. Alright. Let's see what we got. You have lots of VB repos? I think I mentioned I did a few years ago work with a VB client. And I explained to people, they're like, really? You were doing a VB? I was like, yeah. And the interesting thing is, it does look a bit IntelliJ-ish. Okay, so they did standard left side sidebar. Well, I can't click and drag it to move it. I was hoping. Is this just... Okay, that's the right sidebar. That's the bottom. That's show and hide of the left. Looks like they did top tabs instead of side. I actually kind of like that. Do these come off? Ah, they do. Okay. So if I have the right sidebar open, can I just drag those in there? Yep, there you go. Okay. So now I can have files over here, history over there. So it's fairly, like, intuitively customizable, I'm noticing. Sorry, Grumpy Game Dev. What did it think you said? VB.net. Yeah, that was... Wow, Nightbot. Wow. Thanks, Nightbot, for saving us from VB.net link. I know, right? It's a link, yeah. The funny thing is, I would turn that off, but it's way too funny when it happens, you know, and someone just posts a thing and it's like, yep, I know. The number of times I have typed ASP.NET and been like, this thing's trying to turn that into a link. Maybe I write ASP.NET and leave out the dot. And I do, because I don't want a link and then a preview of the ASP.NET website, which is really just silly. Okay, so I've got an editor config. Styling and coloring seems fine by default. Let's open up something. Constants. Okay, I was wondering how it would do by default in syntax highlighting of C#. So I haven't installed any extensions or anything. I think they said they're going to have them. Yeah, I know, right? .NET sounded interesting, I'm sure, back around 2000, but oh man, did starting with a dot cause all kinds of problems. Okay. Looks okay. There are a couple of things I kind of wish they'd done. Like, for example, this date time, I kind of wish had different highlighting from that. You know, so that it told me, like, which one's the type. But again, this is the level of VS Code, not the level of Visual Studio. So they're not so language integrated in here. So it's fine. Okay. So, what do we got? Collaboration. Okay. Tools. What do you... Oh, okay, good. Yep, everything's searchable, it looks like. So, go-to is Control-K, and go-to is searching anything. Would this, for example, be able to find... Okay, and it is... Okay, it is basing it on this, but what if I said... So it still finds it, but doesn't highlight once I start doing that. So... Okay, so it's got the right type of searching, so I'm good there. Yes, I know, Ocular. I'm one of those people that has been in that movement. Though, when I admitted that on Twitter, I was like, this may lose me some followers, but and I'm in the camp not because I really care. Like, I like the name .net. I like the spelling, even the starting with a dot. The problem is it's functionally difficult. And since .net Core came out and we got the CLI that was DOTNET as the name, a lot of us kind of sit there and go, huh, maybe we should just shift everything to that. And just like slowly get rid of those actual dots. Yeah, it's a tough one because like I've been in .NET for a long time now. I'm one of the people that grabbed .NET 2, and that's when I entered, and so it's tough, right? Because I can see the case either way. All right, so this searching of course is going to be good. We knew it was going to be good. So this if I can once I'm in here restrict. Oh, you know what I notice? Control P so hang on. Control P brings me this. What about Control K brings me this without anything selected? Control Shift P. Was this searching everything? Symbols, okay, so this is all symbols in the project, this is symbols in the file, and this is all the files. Okay, so we have the equivalents of these in VS Code already and in everything else, right? They've been in ReSharper forever, so those of us that used ReSharper early had all this kind of searching in Visual Studio since before Visual Studio had this. Yeah, yeah. You were one of the pre.NET ones, yeah. I was not in the Microsoft camp at that point. Around the time that came out, I had not started using any of the like .NET tech, the C sharps, the VBs, whatnot. I was not there yet. The funny thing is, I know I've mentioned this on stream before. I'm one of the people that switched from Python to C sharp, so which is also a weird one. I used a lot of Python and C++ before I switched to C sharp, and what was interesting about that is when I switched, I was like, okay, there's a lot of stuff I like here. This is basically like, what if I took all the things that were annoying about C++ and threw them away, and that was C sharp. But I was like, but I'm missing some of the nice little high-level features I'm used to from Python. So when I wanted high-level rapid development, I would use Python, and for other stuff I would use C++. And it's like, okay, but I'm missing some of the things I want, because I was like, these are garbage tuples, you can't deconstruct them, so you don't really have tuples. No deconstruction. Great. It's like, this is garbage. I was like, you don't have lambdas. I'm sitting here, I'm like, yeah, like, how do I pack up and package, send around functions, like, ah. So they added that pretty shortly after, but it was one of those like really frustrating things for a little while, because I was like, these delegates are terrible. Like, they should not even exist. The tuples that existed in C# at that time should not have existed. Like, they shouldn't have even been there. Any use of them, I was just like, no. If you used one of those old tuples, I was like, nope. Get that out of here. It's garbage. Like, just create a type. Yeah. And you're right, Fuel Snable. There's some .NET brand stuff that's, yeah. They're never gonna they're not gonna be able to drop the .NET. It's mostly just us being silly, because I don't believe they're actually gonna be able to. You were Python though. Oh, so assembly C, C++, C sharp. Yeah. Yeah, you didn't come through Python, but you get some of those things. Yes. So the funny thing is, I started programming in the like late 90s ish, early to late mid I should say mid to late 90s. So I started out by just making websites, which was a lot of fun. And right after I started making websites, they added something, it was brand new, it was called JavaScript. And it let us do the worst things possible on those websites. So for those of you that did not use the web in the 90s, we did terrible things with JavaScript. And by that I mean, they only worked in certain browsers, and even then, they were trashy. I mean, they was just stupid things we would do with this. And like, it's like, oh yeah, these are things. And like, even the things down to like, the like we did silly stuff like you hover over a button, the button changes colors, you know, and things like that. You click it, you know, like depress it, so like your website looks like it's doing stuff, and you do stupid things like have stuff follow the cursor around. Like one of my websites, I had text that would be like following the cursor around wherever you went, and like everybody liked having animations of like flaming text and glowing things and buttons that were bright, and you know, like all the ridiculous yes, yes, Wheelchair Sean, exactly, like GeoCities sites and other stuff like that. It was the best. Oh man, we are so old. So yeah, that's one of the fun. Okay, that's fair, Ocular. There's some terrible stuff you can do with JavaScript, but that's one of the funny things is when people talk to me about JavaScript and they're just like, you know, talking about it like it's this new hip thing, and I'm like, I started with JavaScript. It is in fact older than C#. At this point. And yes, Angel Fire. Yes, thank you, ASCII. Yes. Now we do morally terrible stuff with JavaScript, like fingerprint. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that is a very fair point, Fuel Snable. The old internet was silly, but it was less bad in a lot of ways. Yes, or Python, the new hip language that's from, I think, when was Python created? 96 or something? 94, 90, like, I think it was a 90s language, right? Python was, I think. True equals empty and false. Yeah. So interesting thing as we're talking about just weirdness in these things. I'm planning on making a YouTube video. If you're someone that is not actually subscribed to my YouTube channel, please check out my YouTube channel link I just put in the chat thingy. But anyway, I'm planning on making a video talking about why we tell you to use the is null and other things like that. Is that if you actually want to compare with a constant value, oh, okay, 91, sure, yeah, 95ish, sure, yes. The point being, I think they're 90s languages, right? Like that time period is like, these aren't new. These are like 30-year-old languages at this point. So anyway, so the thing I'm planning on doing is explaining why you shouldn't do the, like, you know, equals null and stuff like that. If you're checking against a constant value, the is actually a nice way to do it, because it checks, is your value the literal value this, which is different from doing, you know, like a null check, for example. Should we type x equals 0 or x is null? So funny enough, Fuel Snable, that I don't think matters. And yes, if it's JS, you can do triple equals. But the funny thing is, Ocular Malice, that in some ways is kind of like our version of the triple equals in a way. Kind of. What I need to test, and I haven't messed with yet, is if I have modified the equality comparison in my... if I have made an implicit conversion between my type and the type I'm checking, can it figure it out and say it's the same value? So that's what I'm wondering, is if I have a type that's not an int32 and I check to see, is it 0? And I have an implicit conversion from my type with a value of 0 into int32, will it do it or not? At which point, if it is, then we're not triple equals. And if it, so that's why I'm like, I haven't tried this yet, but I would like to know the answer. Like, what does it actually do? Okay, and so in here they have the. So I want to get back to looking at Fleet. We're looking at Fleet. What are we doing? What's with all this chatter on DevChatter? What are we doing chattering? Oh wait, never mind. I got it. All right. So text search. What could I search for? Cloud. No, that's not the one I was looking for. But it's kind of here. Do these preview or anything? Ah, they preview down here. Okay. So it shows me right there, highlights the line number. You know, that's not bad. I don't mind this preview. And it's reasonably large. And the thing I like about it, just thinking about this for a second, the preview windows that they do in VS Code, you're searching along in the sidebar, and it pops it open like it's a regular tab. And if you have preview mode enabled, it's pretty easy to forget and not open the window. Don't know if you override it, but your general rules don't. Yes. In JavaScript, I use triple equals unless I have a really good reason not to. Let's see. What are the actions? Whoa, these are like, hey, I think do these run? Hey, who dares welcome? Close window. Whoa, it did it. I wasn't sure if that was gonna take the action or let me customize the action, but I have my answer. Oh, I like it. Well, yes, Fuel Snake. When do we get quadruple equals? We need 4 equals signs. Okay, next cool thing. Just like VS Code does, it is opening me up back where I was before. So that's good, because I haven't totally knocked myself out of that yet. Control-Shift-K for actions. Wow, this is just like all of the actions that it does, looking at these. Weird. Okay. What are the selection abilities? Can I select word? There's no keyboard shortcut for select word? Come on. Expand selection. Alt up. All right. Hang on. Alt up. Okay. And down to go back? Yeah. There you go. Yeah, not bad. So I do like that style. Let's see, what else do we have? So Control F4 to close a tab? I was hoping for Control W and be like, be like the browsers. But no, it's not. That's... Ooh. I don't know that I like F4 being a keyboard shortcut by default here. All right, copy, cut. Yeah, those are normal. Yeah, that's normal. Hang on. Yeah, so expand and shrink is the word. I was like, what are they using for the opposite of expand? And it's shrink. Fuel Snable, you think I'm a zoomer? Yeah, no, it is customizable, but what the defaults are really does matter, because this is what most people are going to be using, and at least for the type of work I do, I need to try to match with what my clients use. So for those of you that don't know, my day job is actually working with development teams. I actually mentor and train developers at companies. So they basically, the companies bring me in and I work with their team. And so I try to make sure that my keyboard shortcuts and everything match theirs, so that if we're working on stuff together, talking about stuff, and I'm trying to explain something, the shortcuts I use are the same ones as theirs. Real boomers use Control F4 and yeah, exactly. There you go. Hey, I Heart Coding, welcome. Glad to see you back at the stream. And yes, welcome everyone. Am I about to have an ad break? I haven't looked in a while. Or we just... Oh, the ad's in progress. Hey! Of course it is. Hello, ad. Thank you for the heads up, everybody. I don't watch the thing carefully enough. I need, like, some kind of a notification that the ads are coming in. Yeah, I got that there was an ad break. Is it... Someone said hello, ad, and I noticed it as well. Looks like we got... I remember you being here. What am I... Is there something specific I'm supposed to... Like, why would I forget your name, I Heart Coding? The thing that throws me off is the people that change their names. When you change your Twitch name, I'm completely lost. I'm done. So who dares sometimes? So when I switch companies, so at a decent amount of companies, so there are a handful where the reason they use certain products and certain setups are because I got them using it. So, for example, one of my clients, I got them using ReSharper. And they have been using ReSharper since before Visual Studio included most of what ReSharper did. What that does mean is that a number of the people on their team and I use the same keyboard shortcuts in ReSharper. One thing that you run into is if some clients are tabs and some are spaces, you do need to remember that, but you can change out your profile if you need to be able to switch to match them. So it's not the worst thing if you end up with one of each, but it's much nicer if like the settings line up. Yes, the Holy War. That I really have no stake in the tabs and spaces because I'll accept an argument that anybody has for either one as long as you agree not, to be consistent. Like, as long as you agree to consistency. That's what matters. Yeah, the C# versus Java one is a similar debate. They both solve the same kinds of problems. So if you're unwilling to work in one or the other, I think that you're just being silly. But we all have our preferences. Like, I prefer C#, but yeah, thank you, Fuel Stable. Yeah, they both suck equally. Like, it's not like I don't work with Java, because I work with Java. Like, my preference is C#, but meh, they solve the same problem. So, okay, is that the... yeah, okay. And I do have to apologize, everybody. There was no way I was doing a stream without I have to check how the game's going right now. Like, I didn't want to miss my stream because I was like, I didn't do another stream this week, so I wanted to make sure one happens. But I also don't want to miss... Ooh. Ah! Sorry about blinding you. I did not mean for that to happen. Whoa! I misinterpreted the word gray. Hi, Coated Beard. Wow. That was terrible. Okay, I thought gray. I saw gray and I was like, yeah, like a dark gray. That was blinding. Yeah, yeah, they spelled it with an E, which means it's light, right? Yeah, that's another one of the silly ones, is gray being spelled with an E or an A is very strange. Okay, we're gonna stick with this nice dark theme so that... yeah, I know, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Sorry about the brightness. Even people that like a light theme don't like it when you switch from a dark theme to a light theme without warning. That I did not expect it to like cursor over preview, like my mouse cursor went over and it was just like, boom, blind. It got me too. Yeah. Whew. All right, what happens when I do this? Okay, start a session or join a session. What happens if I start a session? Do I just get a link? Okay, it copies the link. Provides full access to that. Okay, interesting. Now, where is it? Okay, copy the invitation link. Okay, cool. Well, I'm not going to do that right now. Jinsuke the bot. Yeah, that bot's not running right now, so you won't get those. Sorry, buddy. You've converted so many people to the dark side. Yeah. So I use dark themes for all of my development, all my streaming. But there is actually a time where I switch to light theme. So the computer that I use for giving presentations at conferences, I do have a script that automatically switches everything over to light theme that I can switch. So like Visual Studio, VS Code, and all that sort of stuff all switches to light theme. And the reason why I do that is that at some events, the projectors are not very good, and you don't present. So it's because of bad present. If the projector is not very good, a light theme is going to show up better for the audience than a dark theme, and so that is the reason why. If I'm going to be giving a presentation, I often will switch that stuff over to a light theme. So if I'm streaming where everybody's got their own computer, it should be good. The contrast should be good. It's when you're in the bad contrast scenario because their projector's not very good. If I know I'm at a conference center where they have a great projector and everything's, up to date and functioning, I can use dark theme just fine. But it's if I don't know, and usually the good indicator is, are there projectors on something like VGA? If they are, you probably want to be using, like, if you just grabbed a dongle to connect to VGA, you better switch to light mode, because let me tell you, that projector's older than you are. Okay, yeah, I guess you could crank contrast, things like that. Yeah. Sure. Someone said hi. Savasli94. I don't know what HRU means, but hello, greetings, welcome. Maybe I missed something. People use light theme are evil. No, they're not. It's just different. It's preference. It's preference. I use dark theme, but yeah. Yeah. Slanderous. Slanderous. Oh, how are you? Oh, wow, I'm an old person. Hi, I'm doing great. Yep, old person doesn't even know the acronym. When the light theme, the white looks more overburned. Yeah, so it depends on how you set things up. So most of the time, so we can't see this. Oh, this is a problem. JetBrains, you're missing my feature here. Okay, Control Plus works, but I can't control scroll wheel this. I've got complaints. JetBrains. I control scroll wheel and you didn't zoom me in. Oh, and 0 doesn't reset me back. Oh, we are having words, JetBrains. JetBrains, we're having words. You can't do that to me. You cannot do that. Oh. Now we're upset. Oh, that is terrible. 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 I've got complaints. Hang on. JetBrains scrolling. Zooming? Yeah. I'm making a note. We're complaining at them later. They're gonna feel our wrath. All right. So I'm guessing Rhythmaniac. Also, hi, awesome, love your name. You feel like it is better for your eyes, and you keep from getting sucked into the screen. Yeah. So I agree. Yeah. When I end up on a lot of websites that have light themes, which is one of the reasons why I frequently will put like a dark theme Chrome extension in so that I don't have to deal with that. But if I end up on a lot of websites that are too bright, what I will do is eventually I'll end up just with a lot of eye strain. And so just like, I'm like, yeah, I prefer dark theme. I also have tried using, there is a Windows program that like reduces the light. It's public now. Insfraud. They just put out a public preview. So like this just came out maybe yesterday, something like that, and I wanted to take a look at it on a stream. So we can all take a look at it now. If I hide this now that I have those there, does it go away? Ooh, yeah, it goes away. Okay, nice. What else do we have here? We're just fiddling around with all the stuff. Okay, so this is where the file menu is. You know what? I'm just gonna go right out and say, I know that it's a fairly standard thing in a Windows program to have the file menu across the top, but thank you for just shoving it in a hamburger menu here, because we don't need it up there right now. And in an editor, I would like to have as much real estate reserved to things like toolbars and such. There's the common complaint, which is I do not need this amount of space for my editor because I shouldn't have that much code in the screen at any given time anyway, especially that far over. So like this shoved here is not bad. And then assuming that this is, I would kind of like, can I customize any more than this? Because I kind of want my terminal bigger than this, but I can terminal here, right? Yeah, there we go. What kind of terminal support is this? Okay, so it gave me PowerShell. Is that the only... PowerShell is the only terminal I can get? But I can get a couple of them. What else can I get down here? Oh, I can... Oh, okay. Oh, these pluses are on all of these. I could put one of these in each one. Okay, cool. So I could have like a super narrow tall terminal over here. Sweet. Okay, so terminal is not like a reserved thing that then has like terminals inside of it. A terminal is just a window that could be docked in any spot. Okay, I'm liking the design thought here for that. Okay, solution, just squint. Thanks, Ocular. Why didn't I think of that? I'll just squint at my monitor. You got your monitor brightness to work all the way down. Yeah, it is a good idea. The thing that kills me when I stream is I do have, like, not great lighting, but I have some lighting, because otherwise it looks really weird, and I'm, kind of, like, haunted here almost. It's like, Brendan's in the dark, and so your dev setup is 6 monitors. There's no light themed screens here. Yeah, exactly. Light theme will kill you if you have that many monitors on. Dark theme with all the brightness down gets closer to the e-ink vibe. Yeah. Now, in the room I'm in, I actually do have a few computers that are off to the sides, multiple monitors. I tend not to use, like, I don't really like more than 2. Yeah, 6 monitors is a lot. I don't like having more than 2 on a computer, because I tend to, I just lose the focus. So on any given computer, I like to have 2. Because I figure there's one that I'm focusing on, the side one for, like, the other stuff that's going on. Like, okay, I want to be able to preview the changes I'm making, so that I'm not, like, flipping back and forth. Yeah, I know some people that actually work with one and like it because of the focus, but I sit there and I'm like, okay, but I like not having to fiddle through windows. So if I'm doing a task that requires 2, like, I frequently have one that's just, like, empty, devoid of stuff, right? Like, it might have something like, music playing in it or whatever, right? But the main thing I do it for is, I got this here, and I've got, like, the browser window over here previewing what I'm building or something like that, right? And so then I can switch back and forth without having to, alt-tab between the different things. Hey, Zovek, thank you very much for following. And if anybody else here hasn't clicked the follow button, be sure to click it. It's a great way to get notified when we go live here on the stream. And yes, if you're wondering, Brendan, why are we chatting instead of looking at stuff? Well, let me tell you something. You're not in the Dev Look at Stuff channel. Read that name. This is DevChatter. We're going to be talking about stuff. So I hope you're here for a conversation. And if you're not, you actually don't have to join. You don't have to join the conversation. You could enjoy reading the conversation in our chat. But that is why we are all here. We like talking about tech stuff. We find it interesting. And yes, we do code on projects. We do programming exercises and katas and other stuff like that. I haven't brought any guests back. Back in our early days of streaming, I used to frequently have guests here on the stream. We have had a lot of people as guests here on the stream, both pair programming as well as discussion, but I'm hoping to do some more of that, but I currently don't have anybody lined up to come in and join us on the stream, but I am going to be talking to some people to set that up soon. Okay, your neck would hurt, blah, blah, blah. Yes, as McCullen's saying, it's good to have something like Docs or something like that up on the side screen so that you can just shift over to it pretty easily. I like that. I do a similar thing. I'll pull something up on the side. When you're running older games, it decides to scroll. Yes, so in some old games, if you're running multiple monitors, they'll do the stupid thing where it's like, what? Why did you pick that monitor? No, this is the monitor. Yeah. You could just set all your stuff like me. You're looking into the single big screen with configurable screen splitter software. Oh yeah, the one large screen. Yeah. I've debated it too. I haven't done it yet, because the thing that's weird is you do need to split somewhere, I feel, because it's weird to not be able to full screen stuff if they're gonna try to take the entire thing, and I don't want that. I want to be able to take parts, but I don't know. Okay, so I like the way that they set up the terminals where this is not a thing, right? Like, I can put this terminal anywhere, and each of the terminals is separate. So if I just want to open up another terminal down here, I can. And what I like about this is this also seems to be like Notice they just kind of implied that, whoops, hang on. They're saying open a tool. Oh, look, and they tell you to drag and drop from another. It's like, yeah, I got that. I'm not, I figured that out. I'm not sure what so this must be similar to the run and debug in VS Code is my guess. How do I close this one? So that one closes, but debug, okay. All right. Another complaint. Why isn't there an X on the debug one? Like, or history? Like, are they just figuring terminals are that fleeting? Look, terminal has an X, but these don't. There's no little, I know it's kind of hard to see on the screen here, but there is no little X to close on history and Git, but there is on terminal. What do they not like about the terminal windows that they want me to close them? They're treating it similar to this. And what's also interesting is the main window does not have a little plus here. There's no way to just add a tool directly into it. Looks like I have to open it here and then drag. Whoa! There we go. Not what I meant to do. Does that actually shove that one down in... Is that one down in the bottom now? Oh, no, it's just split. Okay. Let's toss another one in. What happens? Do I have a side? No. I can top and bottom, but I can't side by side? Okay. Interesting. Huh. Okay, so a little branch integration there. Show quick fixes is not available. Enable smart mode. Whoa, downloading the ReSharper service. Weird. Okay, use virtual desktops, Windows keys. Yeah. You can, yep, you totally can. Terminal windows are yeah, that was good, Ocular. That was good. This is where you would just keep opening terminal windows until the OS. Yeah, I'm totally on that. Okay, so they download in the other pieces that they need. So I guess I'm turning on something called smart mode, and I don't know what that means. This icon doesn't do anything when I click on it. Huh. That's kind of weird. All right, window. New window. Ooh. No, that's a new instance. Oh, no, I can't do it. Where'd it go? What happened to it? It's gone. Did I close it? Okay. I attempted to drag I had a file open and I tried to drag it off the screen. And if I drag it off the screen, it looks like it... Whoa! Wait, hang on. Whoa! Wait, what's this? Oh, I got it! I got it off! Okay, it's separated. Is it... Okay, it doesn't have a folder open, but what's weird is the extra window I opened here, it has all the sidebar thingies. It is another instance of this. Okay. Huh. I don't know what syncing the project means. Weird. Okay. That is strange that when I click on a folder, it doesn't automatically expand it. What is this? Oh! Whether or not it shows me the keyboard shortcuts? Why would I ever turn that off? Why? Editor layout. Focus for split. Side panels. Hide all panels. Oh, there's Alt Shift Escape. Nope. Alt Shift is nope. Nope, doesn't do it. Okay. So I can get those, but no, that doesn't do it. That does not do it. Meanwhile, some coder. Yeah, exactly. Alright, hang on. Smart mode. Analyzes code to provide completion, error detection, fixes, and refactorings. Okay. I'm on board. Let's see what it does. What can we open? 7. Not where. You know what? I need to find. Which command should we try? Bidding. Hang on. Name command. Yeah, we'll take a look at this real quick. All right. What code editor? Yeah. So this is JetBrains Fleet. Thank you for that. That's a great question, Mystic Soda. We're just taking a. It's a preview that they just dropped publicly like a day or so ago that we're just having a look at to see just like what did they put together. Like, is this something we would actually be interested in using for something? Now, it says right now that we have smart mode turned on. I'm a little terrified by the fact that it says no problems found, because I was kind of expecting it to have some suggestions at least. I'm not seeing any squiggles or any other indicators that there's something specific to do here. Does this keyboard shortcut work? No, it does not. Huh. Name bids command. This one should tell us the existing names. Hey, thank you very much for following the stream. Welcome. Yeah, I know, right? I'm smarter than smart mode, because smart mode didn't tell me anything it thought I should fix. Okay. Quest it. Let me see what happens when I type. Why would you offer me length? Like, length? This is a string, I think. Right? Yeah, it's a string. Can I... What's the... Okay. Whoa! Oh, no. I'm out. I'm out. I'm out. I can't... Nope. What even is that? What? I am so confused right now. I can't select by line numbers. Done. Nope, they took away. Nope. I'm out. I'm sorry, JetBrains. Not using it. Like, if that doesn't change, I'm not using it. Period. Done. Full stop. Not using Fleet. And no, I'm not even kidding. I'm not using. If I cannot click on the line numbers to select a line, that is just so intuitive. Like, I have been doing that for so long now. I can't not have that feature. Like, I use that everywhere. Like, how am I supposed to select a line if I can't pick the line number? There's a reason that, oh, hang on a second. Hey chat, I'm back. Sorry about that. Kid's school called. You answer the phone when your kid's school calls. All good, but anyway. So, all right. Yeah, I went to. Yeah, so it's the breakpoint for the debugger. Okay, I didn't remove Fleet yet. I am still gonna take a look at it. There's a chance that they can fix that feature, but yeah, like if that feature is missing, if I don't have the way to select a line like that, then I'm out. And yeah, so like I mean I can control C a line, right? Like that's totally a thing. Like the line is selected, I think, when I'm yeah. But the thing is that I do that from like I like, one hand on the mouse, one hand on the keyboard, right? Like I've done a lot of PC gaming in my days. That's a very standard like way of using a computer. So like typing stuff on my left hand with a right hand on the mouse is totally normal. Then you switch the right hand back on to type fully, like that's a very normal thing. And one of the nice things is that like keyboard shortcut Control C, Control V is available like that, and I click lines. I like line number selection. So I'm hoping that they can get us that. That's a really easy feature to have. So I'm hoping that they just shift the breakpoint over a little bit and let me click the numbers. Because I will say, in current version, I will not use an editor that's like this. And if you didn't know, in most other editors, you can click the numbers and it works just fine. Now, maybe I haven't tried that in Writer. I don't know. I'll have to check. Okay. Called copying, not select. Yeah. Let's see. I think you were some kind of debugging mode, unless you couldn't highlight it because you weren't editing and it's toggles breakpoint. Oh, I have no idea, Ocular Malice. How is Control C defaulted as selecting the whole line and the... So Mystic Soda, to answer your question, what I did with the line selection, copy and paste, that's actually very normal. So that is how Visual Studio does it, VS Code does it, and that's how this does it. So if I select part of the line, like get by name, I've got that selected, then it considers that I have get by name selected. However, if I don't have anything selected, right? I just have my cursor on the line and I hit Control C. It does give me the whole line then. So that's the difference. It's whether you have an intentional selection or not. If nothing's selected, it's assumed you have the whole line. Yes. Yep. Okay. Yeah, exactly. Like your comment was valid. Like if it were I had something selected and it did that, you'd be like, wait a minute, what? It's like no, this is just it's super convenient to be able to do that. And for example, like does this work? No. Oh yeah, right. They did that right. Yeah. Okay, so they use Alt and Shift to move the line up and down. So Alt Shift up and down arrow moves the line. So I don't know how well people know VS Code, but in VS Code, if you use Alt and up and down, it moves it up and down. And if you're holding Shift as well, it's duplicating the lines up and down. This one, they're just doing this one. I'm assuming multi-cursor input. Yeah. Okay, so exactly as we expect, we get multi-cursor input like that, and that's fine. How do I... Okay, so they just do Alt. So it's just Alt drag in theirs. And then if I end and home, yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. Ooh, interesting thing. Watch this. Home, and if I Control Z, the Control Z moved my cursor. Cursor movements are on their history. That's interesting. I like that, actually. From an editor standpoint, having cursor movement be part of like editing history to be able to Control Z and Control Y. That's interesting. Okay, if the line is blank, you clear your clipboard. Oh yes, Renee. Yes. When you Control C accidentally on a line and whether it's empty or not, and you're like, boom! I don't have anything selected, but my clipboard has been nuked. which is why some people run clipboard history and such like that. But anyway, so yeah, it was interesting to see some of the undo things. So, do those get undone? No. Okay. So I think it was that I did. Hang on. Is it only because I multi-line selected? No, it's not because I multi-line selected. Why did a cursor movement count? Hang on. Okay, so I have this. I move here, I type here. Now if I control Z, it moves me back here. So this movement counted. So if you saw, my control Z moved the cursor back. So that's interesting. You're way more invested in exploring this editor than you ever will be. Yeah. I mean, I'm just looking around. We're just playing around and having fun with it, Ocular. If we find something cool that it does, awesome. We're not going to so aside from my complaint about the line numbers, we're not going to be able to decide without like there is no amount of work that I did with an editor in a single stream could possibly answer the question of, is this the editor for me going forward? If anyone thinks they can determine that in like, you know, a short stream in an afternoon, then I gotta sit there and go, you're just really making a wild decision, because the amount of things that I have learned about Visual Studio over the years, or VS Code over the years, or Writer, or IntelliJ, whatever editor you're using, I would be shocked if you figured out much other than what was the design philosophy. Exactly, McCullen. Yes. So anybody that's thinking, oh yeah, Fleet's going to be a VS Code killer is just no. No, it will not be. I'm going to go ahead and just call that one right now. Even if this editor is better than VS Code, let's just say that I'm not saying it is, but for the hypothetical, if this were better than VS Code, without a doubt, at, pick anything, that still doesn't mean that it surpasses VS Code. VS Code just grabbed the market, right? Something will need to shake the industry to unseat it. Now, if VS Code had never done live share, if they hadn't built one of those and this suddenly showed up with it, maybe it could have been the thing that stole it. If this were like the first IDE that did that, and not even that VS Code was the first one to even do it either, but I'm just pointing out that if you come with a game-changing piece of functionality that is missing from the market leader, that's about the only way you're going to steal that. And I mean, the game-changing thing for VS Code was, like, for a lot of people, it edits really well and is lightweight, and you can just kind of, like, you can easily port it to any machine, run it. It's like, it's simple, it's easy, it's got a lot of good keyboard shortcuts and like, editor features for both navigating and refactoring and things like that. It's got, nice snippets and abbreviations, blah, it's like, yeah, it's a solid text editor, and it's not like, despite the fact that it's certainly lighter weight than most of our other editors. So it's one of those like, yeah, it's kind of an easy sell. Even if you keep your other editor on, you can just add this and not worry about it. And I was like, yeah, okay, VS Code spread everywhere. Like, that's just great. You need a bit, your brain capacity area has enough choices for editors. Yeah, yes. Yes, there you go, Ocular. So there are a ton of people sitting that yes. So obviously, if you're in the C# camp, for C# development, especially for like, most of the server side stuff I do, I still run Visual Studio. Why? It still handles C# better than VS Code does with a lot of stuff. And while I use VS Code for a lot of other development, basically anything that's not C# these days, I'm in VS Code. And that includes if I'm doing a project that has C# and other languages, I just run both Visual Studio and VS Code. The idea is, though, there were definitely some complaints at one point when features that were, going to be on VS Code were only implemented for Visual Studio, and a lot of us just sit there and we're like, really? You're not going to put them in? You're not going to support C# in VS Code? Like, come on, everybody. We have to do that. Yeah. Okay, so yeah. So Visual Studio's for C#, Writer's for Unity, VS Code's for everything else. There you go. Yep, exactly, Ocular Malice. And that is one of the big reasons why I tell people, like, you need to use the right tools for the right job. First off, I want to... Sakona, hopefully I got your name right, but welcome. Thank you for following the stream. Glad to have you here. And Leading Lady, thank you very much for subscribing to the stream again. Please enjoy all of your DevChatter Chatosaurus emotes. It's always nice when you're around. It's fun to have people show up to the stream who also stream. It's good. the crazies. We are the ones that are willing to do this madness. And thank you for the reminder to hydrate there, Thunder. Always appreciated. Writer is not for Unity. That's just plain wrong. Both Writer and VS are for C#/Unity. You can go either way on those. The point being that Writer is an acceptable C# development, and so is Visual Studio, whereas VS Code leaves something to be desired for C#. Yes, man is exactly. Yeah, awesome. I'm guessing from the thank you, Sakona, and also I'm glad you did speak up. No one has to speak up in here, but we're DevChatter for a reason. We love chatting. So yeah, I'm going to assume from your reaction that I at least got close with your name. But if I didn't, please let me know. I will try to say it better. I try to say everybody's names correctly, but it is tough because we're just reading them on the internet, and so it's like we just kind of take guesses. So Writer has a lot of nice Unity features. You change the name of an asset from within Writer and find asset usages. So that actually makes sense to me because JetBrains and a lot of their tooling, they've always been really good at that case. So that is actually one of the reasons why back in the day why I originally started using ReSharper. So I used ReSharper back when when ReSharper was the way to have all the refactoring tools that are in ReSharper. And Visual Studio didn't have any of them. They didn't have like the file searching. They didn't have, like any of the basics of like keyboard shortcuts for refactoring and, extractions of methods and everything like that. And now it's like, baked in. But JetBrains was always really, really good about making sure that it caught all of the usages. So it would find it in comments. It would find, it'd be like, where can I possibly find usages of what you change? And yes, I also still enjoy using ReSharper inside of Visual Studio. Sea Lion for Rust, IntelliJ for Java and Kotlin, WebStorm for JS and TS, and yes, Zargor, but it's personal preference. You've used JetBrains for, yes, exactly. You don't like VS Code, nice. See, I like that. There's someone here that is not a VS Code fan. It's just not as good, for example, debugger. Yeah. So VS Code leaves some things to be desired. The nice thing about VS Code is that it is good enough at most of the programming languages that someone would want to use. That's why it gains so much popularity, is because you and almost everybody else can be using VS Code. And since, with like an entire, industry full of people using VS Code, means it's gonna be, good. It's hard for it not to be. And yes, Fuel Snable, what is it currently in VS Code that is annoying you? Is there a specific thing? Hang on. Let me go in here. Select a color theme. Edit color theme. Ooh, what does this do? Oh, sweet. I can change stuff about the theme just in here. I think it'll let me just modify. So I just pulled it up and got, yeah, nice. Cool. Borders. Red. Whoa! Yeah, it started changing there. See, look, the border's red now. Nice. Let me see. VS Code also has a live share that's not completely broken like the VS 2022 one. Yeah, we ran into a bunch of problems. So we had access to the private like early access version of VS Live Share here on the stream, and so they gave us early access to it. We were running it, and we had it crashing on both Visual Studio and VS Code. And I think we ended up finding that it was like when we had a Visual Studio in there, it was crashing. But yeah, there was always some weirdness. It wasn't perfect, but it's a really, really useful and cool tech. So I kind of feel like every editor needs to have the ability to do this kind of thing. I was kind of hoping that Visual Studio and VS Code and basically all the editors would come up with some consistent communication so that someone could be running Fleet and someone else could be running VS Code and we could all still do the same tricks, but there's almost zero chance that they're going to collaborate like that. Well, I really like JetBrains. You have to admit that sometimes there are very specific plugins made for a language and framework that just do not exist outside of VS Code. Yep. I do not expect a Turbo Pascal version. You perceive slower over time. This might be your imagination. And then, especially if you've got lots of extra plugins, and they started having more plugins installed by default, Fuel Stable, so that might not be just perception. It may legitimately have slowed down. They broke a theme for you, and they have a decent amount of column selection. They have some additional UI customization, and I think they've been adding to it recently in VS Code. So newer versions, I think they've been trying to make it more customizable. So what is gray 10? Can I make it blue 10? So that's the highlighted one, right? No. Shadow. White shadow. Let's see. How do I fill the... Editor. Here we go. Editor. Yeah. Okay, where's the editor? That's the header. Is there not an editor fill? Current line fill? Oh, editor fill. Here it is. Yeah, let's blind everybody. Oh, I love the white shadow. Oh, that looks so cool. It's like glowing. It's like... That is sweet. I like that. You disabled all the plugins. I know it looks like this deific code right here. Look at that. Look at that window popping up. That looks great. There was some bad TV show from the TV movie from the 70s. Okay. You disabled your plugins. Yeah, they do keep adding plugins. So you're right. Yeah, 10 out of 10. Perfect. I love it. Edson, thank you very much for the follow. Much appreciated. And hey, Paprika, yes. Yeah. Who doesn't like this? Come on. Like, it just looks ridiculous. It's just silly. I like that they just gave me the ability just right in here with the JSON. So we're just stumbling around finding stuff. Like, what do they have in here? I mean, keep in mind that some developer somewhere worked really hard on all of these features that we're looking at. So while I got super critical about this, like a bunch of people noticed. So Lady, I don't think you were here, but I had a big rant and said I was done and there's no way I'm using Fleet because of the fact that I can't click on line numbers. So I click on line numbers. It's upsetting. Yes. Oh, you want me to change the font? Yeah, we can change the font. Where's my font? Hang on, we're changing font. Actions. Can I change the font? Thank you, someone, for something. Tiparaymon? I'm not sure. I apologize if I totally butchered your name, which I probably did. But welcome. Thank you for following the stream. Much appreciated. Just Tippa. Tippa works. Hey. Ah, and an 07 salute. Welcome. Greetings. Yeah, totally want those 6 monitors. If you don't code in Wingdings, are you even a real coder? No, Horcrine. You're definitely not a real coder if you're not using Wingdings. So... Oops. Font. Where do I change the font? I see this as font modifier, but I want to know how to change the font in here. Maybe it's in settings? How do I get to settings? Hang on, settings? Settings, hang on. Theme, font. Ah, here we go. JetBrains mono, no. Wingdings. There we go. See? Way better. Now I'm a real coder. I'm program. All right, let's code some real code now. New file. myclass.cs. All right, here we go. Did I get it? No. Hang on. Oh, am I missing my... hang on, I think I'm missing my using at the top. Did I get it? Yeah, no red squiggles! We're coding in Wingdings! And yes, thank you, Tippa. I do need to hydrate. You're right. All right, so let me fix that font real quick because this is not actually gonna be good. Oh no, I can't search. I'm typing in letters. It's not coming down. I think I gotta scroll this. Hang on. This is at least a font that is readable. So if you want to know what I put in my class, I know, shock and awe, right? I did a public void do something with a console write line. I know, everybody's surprised. Please don't give Hollywood any more ideas. Yeah, real coders code in Klingon, yeah, you do. Okay, Renee, I have a fun story for you. All right, so I have been married for a long time. I have a wonderful wife. She's great. I met my wife when we were kids. Now, here's the shocking thing. For the lols, when I was a kid, I insisted to her that I absolutely loved Comic Sans. I didn't really like Comic Sans. I think I even sang a song about Comic Sans as a kid. And that's a really weird story to mention. So, yeah, it's a weird one. But... no, Comic Sans really isn't a good font, and it was even a joke. You know, it's been a joke forever. Of like, I feel bad for whomever made Comic Sans, to be honest, because it's not that it's really bad. It's that people use it wrong. Yeah, exactly. The thing is that I think a lot of people do like it because that's why it got used in places it shouldn't have been used. So was it fuel stable? I don't know. I don't know the history of where Comic Sans came from, but I guess it could have come with Bob. I don't know. It's certainly old enough. Don't you speak ill of Bob. Yeah, so people did a lot of kids stuff with Comic Sans, but even there, I would argue it's probably not the best font for that either. Yeah. Comic Sans. Without Bob, we wouldn't have Clippy. That's fair, and we do love some Clippy. Okay. So, how do I get the JetBrains? I need to go find the JetBrains font again. Maybe they have a reset on the JetBrains Mono. There it is. All right. Yeah, that's back to normal. Ooh, did they really do that? Did they really put the? Hang on, I need to see. Is that the default? Ew! Look, I said I wanted I created a new class. It put the curly brace on the same line, and this is C sharp. This is C sharp. Okay, leading lady, that is an amazing Clippy, and I need to find out where that one's from. Oh, it's a leading lady Clippy. I know where it's from now. I know how to get that. I know how to get that emote now. Wait, hang on. I have to go find a Clippy stream elements thingy for your channel. Yeah, I know. Yeah. We need more Clippy stuff. Yeah, there are a whole bunch of especially in a channel of full of computer nerds that have been around since Clippy. Oh man, is Clippy amazing! Oh, I'm sorry, Mystic Soda. Yeah, Nightbot gets really overzealous. I apologize. Yeah, Clippy's the best. What emails do I even have right now? Yeah, I've got these ones. Yeah, mine are all my dinosaurs. So I've got all my dinosaurs. So I don't have a Clippy. I may have to get a Clippy at some point. I'm waiting for the artist that did my emotes to open up commissions again so I can commission some new emotes. Clippy was the user interface agent that came bundled with Microsoft Office. Yes, but did Clippy exist anywhere else? Oh, it's a Clippy song. Okay. Yeah. All right. So this is interesting. So I made a CS class. I like the fact that it's content aware and understood that I made a .cs and is helping me out with the different types that might go in here. So this is a basic file with nothing in it. This creates an enum. This is a struct. This is a record, an interface, and a class. I'm happy. That's exactly what I'd want to create. If I had a CS file, I'm doing one of these. So I like that they did this route. Can I? Oh, and left and right arrow. Hey, talk about intuitive interfaces. So right and left arrows to change which one I'm selecting to choose a template. Fantastic. JetBrains, really good job right here. Clippy's 25 years old. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Whenever someone does an interface and you just figure out something, you're like, okay, that was you did something smart. Users tried something and it paid off, right? Like I was like, I wonder how I can switch those. And arrows is the most intuitive. My other thinking was maybe it's like numbers, but arrows make sense while you're on here. The only thing I don't like is I want to know if I can change these templates somehow. And sadly, right-clicking them doesn't do anything. I was hoping right-clicking would let me edit the template because I'm kind of still shocked by the curly on the same line, which is not standard in C#. So I would get for some other languages that they might structure it that way, but I'm surprised by that on C# because that's not normal in C# code. Not that it's a problem, it's just weird because you're breaking from the traditional standard in that language. Yeah, exactly, Ocular. I think all of us have that. So, speaking of leading lady, you still here? And everybody else? I apologize. There's going to be music playing in a second. I want to show you my. So we're talking about all this old nostalgia stuff from earlier Windows times. So for anyone that doesn't show up to my stream at the beginning, I'm going to show you the welcome screen that plays for a few minutes while I'm getting set up before the stream actually starts. So there will be so it'll be playing music, but I want to show you what I built for myself in After Effects for anybody that didn't see this. So my stream now gets to load in with the XP loading screen, which is just fantastic because I love that. It's like, yeah, I went and built that. I was like, you know what? I need an XP loading screen. So I built myself an XP loading screen, an XP style loading screen for DevChatter. Yes, I know it's not super retro, but it is good enough, right? XP was. You need to go retro to a point. It needs to be identifiable. So funny enough, I was debating doing like the old, I think it was Windows 95, the like orange text that is now safe to, leave. I couldn't find I couldn't find the right font. And the reason I want the font is I don't want it to say it's now safe to turn off your computer. I want it to say it's now safe to leave the stream. And so we actually have a new end screen for this stream. And I will show it to you early. I'm going to jump to it and then we'll come right back to the stream. So I did the one that XP used. So XP had the same kind of screen. It's not as iconic, but it was like this. And what's interesting is that it didn't say XP on it, and it did have like it is now safe to shut down your computer or something. And so I've got this one then also. So I did so we are currently an XP stream with an XP themed intro and outro now. So quite fun. Let's see. XP was a great OS. It really was. You gotta always put everything in context for the time, right? Like, I mean, in many ways, Windows 95 was a great OS too. So was 98. 2000 was a good OS. XP was a good OS. Millennium Edition was a good. Just kidding. Millennium Edition was an OS. Yeah. Windows 2003 server. Yeah. Yes. Fuel Snable. The XP of the server world. 2003 was great. ME. Oh, so Vista's not. So the funny thing is, everybody hates on Vista, and Vista had its problems. However, when everybody then got around to like loving on Windows 7, and they'd be like, "Look at this great Windows 7 feature," and I'd be sitting there, I'm like, "That's a Vista feature. That's a Vista feature. That's a Vista feature. That's a Vista." Like all these things that you love are Vista features, and you just don't realize it because you didn't use Vista. Yes, exactly. Yes, Fuel Snable, you hit on it on precisely. Vista had a whole bunch of huge steps forward, but there were some missteps along the way that pushed people away. Yeah, hang on, Mystic Soda, I missed what you said earlier. You know what you need? You need the Pipes screensaver from yes. Mystic Soda, you're right. My BRB screen should be something like one of those old either Pipes or maybe the Maze. Does anybody remember that 3D Maze screensaver? That was great. Okay, yeah. I mean, at least you didn't name your kid Millennium Edition. Yes, exactly, the Maze. Yeah, the Maze. There were so many good ones. The other one that I would love, that I certainly don't have the skill to make this, but I would love it to do the do you remember the solitaire like win screen thing where it would like the cards would come shooting out of the thing and like bounce down, like that animation at the end of solitaire? That was great. I would love to have something like that with like, if I could get that kind of effect on the screen, I would love to have that. No, she's famous. I get emails every couple of years from things, people that named their kid weird things. Oh, nice, Ocular. Yeah. I can see it. Also, the one with the spiky cubes. Oh, yeah. Where they would like grow out of it or something, right? So said screensavers are not as big as they. Yeah, that's the funny thing is the screensaver's not really needed like it was before, but it's a bummer that they're gone because it's still one of those like our lock screens are just kind of silly. It's like, why don't you put a screensaver on it? Why don't you have like custom animations running while I'm on a lock screen? Essentially, it's the same concept. So you made. you have a Unity Windows main screensaver. Now, what I wonder is if you could get it running in a browser, you could pretty easily just browser source it. Does it randomly do the maze, Ocular? Yeah. Do something like the Windows maze, but in Unity. Because what I'm wondering is if you could get it, because if you could essentially get that same concept, yeah. So, because then if you did it as a browser source inside of OBS, you could have your BRB screen be an old Windows like maze screensaver. So Ocular, can you send me the link to that repo? Because that's something that would be really interesting to look into. Because as long as we got it as a browser, we could do that. It sounds like you also stream. I don't think I watched your stream, though. Do you do gaming streams or coding streams? Oh, no. No. All right, hang on. Sorry, I messed up something in my OBS here. I may. I don't know, Ocular. How often do you stream? Okay. Either way, I do really like this. So that actually makes me wonder, what happens if I create like a CSS file? So we saw what happens if I make a C# file. Something dot CSS. What's it make? Okay, there's no templating from this. How about... Well, it says no templating here either. This gave me class and interfaces options, but there's no template for it, which is a little weird. Why don't these ones have the template? So I'm a little bit confused why the template exists in C# but not in these other languages. I was not expecting C# to be the one that would have the special stuff. What about in Ruby? Nothing. Is it because does it know I'm in a C# project? I'm really confused. Hang on. Because the devs like C# more and did those templates first. Blue Spied, you could be correct. So yeah, Ocular, if you actually have a link to the maze thing, I would love to take a look at it at some point. Or you can post it in the Discord. Are you in our Discord? Everyone here, if you're not in our Discord, you should join our Discord. Also, I have been making mass tons of YouTube videos in our YouTube channel. So also do check that out. So that's just weird that they didn't give us the templates on those. Just class def with the curlies. Can you show the template again? Yeah. I bet this one, wait, something.cs? Yeah, it's still up here. Because I haven't left the template, so it's still here. So... Sorry, Ocular. Isn't it updating indexes at the top of the screen? Oh! It could be, Paprika. It could be. You might be right. Yes, I didn't notice that. Good eye. So it could still be figuring some of those out. But yeah, this... So I like that it's still here. So maybe once it is finished running everything. But I think this is for the smart stuff, which... Let me turn smart mode off. And we're going to make another .cs and just see. So even with smart mode disabled, it's still showing that. So it may not be that. But let me check again. Let me try on another Java. Well, Java came up, right? Another Java has interface and class. And then what about another Ruby? No sample of anything. Nothing there either. Yeah. So it could just be that they didn't build them. What does this come with? Nothing? Not even on HTML. Yeah, so in Java it does. It can switch between class and interface on Java. But that's about it, which, to be honest, is such a meaningless thing there, but it doesn't really matter. But Rhythmaniac, I assume that yes, you're going to be able to make your own templates. If they didn't let you make your own templates, that would be awful. So I kind of feel like it's one of those, like, yeah, that it's more of a, it's bad if they don't do it. It's expected. It should be expected that we'll be able to create these. Because if they don't let you, then it's really they're failing. Not like this is an expected feature, not a. But I really like the interface. This is the big thing that I commented about. I really like this, that we can switch between them, right? Like if we couldn't switch between them like this, then it would be kind of annoying, because I'd be like, well, which one did you open? Like, how do I, like, yeah, this is just super easy. You know, pick the one you want. If you're holding the mouse, you can click it. If you're holding the keyboard, you can, you know, switch between them. So either way, I like it. So my couple of takeaways from Fleet. As a preview, good. A couple of the design decisions I'm not a big fan of. Again, I've mentioned I don't like the fact that I can't click a line number to select that line. So when I click the line, it's not selecting that line. That's my first major complaint. If they got that, I would be much happier. The other one, I've tried holding Shift, I've tried Control, I've held Alt, and I'm not finding a scrollable zoom, which I really like, being able to just scroll my zoom. They do let me do Control plus to zoom in and Control minus to zoom out. But without the scroll, I don't usually like doing Control plus. I like Control on a scroll wheel. So without having that, I'm a little disappointed there. But these are minor features. So if these are my major complaints, are the minor features, I'm on board. I like the way that they split up the windows. I think it works pretty well. I kind of wish they had a right-left split, which maybe I just didn't find that. They have top and bottom split, but I didn't see a right-left split. And with the number of people that have like the ultra-wide monitors, a right-left split between a few things could be really nice. I like that their stance on windows are, you can basically just drag things wherever you want. Now, I guess you could use the right sidebar as a way of doing a side split, but yeah. What did you want to? Can you make some small algorithms in C#? We can write something in C#. What did you want to write? You just want to see us write something? Hang on. Yeah, we can write something real quick. I don't know. We'll do something like this. We'll make a little. Oh man, that theme we've got running is still crazy. We'll write a little bit of code. We'll say, you know what? This is probably hard to read because I'm not zoomed in at all. There you go. Okay. So we'll make an quick isPrime method, and we'll say, whoa, 4? Whoa. Where's my template? Do I need to have smart mode to get that? Wow. We'll do this. Divisor equals 2. Well, divisor is less than the candidate, which actually I could really do like math. Hang on. Is it system.math? SQRT. It should be less than or equal to math.square root, and then divisor plus plus. So we'll increment, whoops, no semicolon there. I remember how to write basic for loops. Hey, I think it's figured it out now. Excellent. It's paying attention. I don't have a namespace, so that's fine. Feel free to complain. Public void is prime. This should be a bool. And we'll say it's only prime if we found nothing else, so we're going to return true here, and we're going to say if... Oh, hey, we've got a... No! Oh, wait, hang on, it's going. Okay, there's something weird with the way that it's auto-completing here, and it seems like maybe I had to have... the smart stuff running to be able to do that. Surly, yes, I have been using this style of headphones since I first started streaming about 5 years ago. I think for the first handful of streams, you might have seen me wearing something like this. But then I quickly switched to these so that I can hear anybody else in the house. Because I would frequently stream on Saturdays back in the day. And so I would need to know if, like, my kid needed me or something. I used to stream when my older kid would take a nap. So I can hear if anybody else is talking in the room with me while I have these on, I hear it just fine. So yes, these are bone conductive ones, so I don't miss out on any sounds. The opposite of noise canceling. I can hear everything else around me. Some people around me can hear a little bit of my audio. They're not silent, but it's much quieter. Yeah, so it is still definitely a speaker. It is playing. So they're not one of the ones that is completely silent. But for the most part, it does not send a lot of audio to other people. So. Hang on. Oh, it does. I thought we tried that earlier and it didn't work. But, oh, you know what? I bet we had it split vertically when we tried it, Blue Spide. I bet that's what it was. Yeah, it seems like the smart mode is taking forever to index. I'm not sure what's going on. Why it's taking it's been stuck at around this percentage for a while. Alright, so if candidate mod divisor equals 0, return false. This font does the thing where it combines those two and they look like one big equals sign instead of two separate ones. But that's fine. So the candidate's that, then that. So yay, we wrote an isPrime method. Math.square root of the candidate. So for divisor this, while it's less than the square root of the candidate, spit that. Yeah, this will determine if a number's prime. You can... Oh, is there a setting for that, Blue Spide? Yeah. Because you'll notice on this one, they did the same thing. They wrote my less than or equal to as the... For a minimal editor, yeah, no content. For a minimal editor, it's quite annoying. It shows a loading spinner at the error warning counter every time you... Yeah. So what no content's talking about is like right here, there was a little bit of a delay in showing me the error. And it, like even a little bit of delay up there, but yeah. And yes, the auto completion is going a little bit slowly as well, I have noticed. And that's when it even worked, because when we didn't have the smart mode enabled, it wasn't even giving me the autocomplete. It was acting like a text editor. Yeah, that is, see, that was taking a little while to load up all the various ones, and now I'm waiting. I've chosen my constants, and it's not coming up with them yet. And I thought maybe since I picked it, it would get me the namespace, but it's not. Mystic Soda, you're wondering if this method would work? This method should work. I'm not going to run it right here because we're inside of a bigger program. We didn't open up a basic console app, but this one should work. How do I new window? Hang on. Let me see if I can get myself a. We're gonna open up a quick Scratch project here. Okay. Whoops. Sorry, that was me. That was not your computer. That was my computer. I did that. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. Don't kill me. I made the sound again. Everybody got confused. Everybody was like, "Hey, is that my computer doing something?" No, that was mine. All right. .NET new console. Okay. Okay. Oh, I can't select lines. That feature's really irritating me. I'm just so used to doing it. Let's say console right line is prime 7. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. You know what? I should have, just because we need to have a square in there also. Let's do 8, 9, 10. Okay, save that and .NET run. Let's try it. Let's see what happens. For loops are overrated. Yeah, I agree. Thanks, Mystic Soda. Yeah. Crash. Top level statements must precede namespace and type declaration. Okay. Like this. What do you want from me? Okay, I will make a new file. This will be primecalc.cs. Namespace. Top level. Static. Okay, top level that. Yep, okay. Let me see if I butchered that. What's chat saying? You gonna yell at me? Smart mode isn't enabled. No, oh, you're right, it's not. Oh, prime calc. Whoops. All right, we'll try this. Yeah, I know. That's not how you put things in a namespace. What? Yeah, thanks. Negative numbers. What do you mean not how you put things in a namespace? That's how you put things in a namespace. That is totally how you put things in a namespace. Enable only if you trust the grid. Primcalc. That's why. It's primcalc. See, without autocomplete, all of your typos come back to haunt you. All right, so there we go. Let's see, what did we say? We said yes to 1. We should have falsed before that, but that's fine. Because usually 1's not considered, that's the questionable. So we said 1, 2, and 3. 4 is false, 5 is true, 6 is false, 7 is true, 8, 9, and 10 are false. Yep, looks like it was correct for these numbers at least. What do we got? We could put in like 11, 12, and like 97. There's some prime numbers for you. So 11 should be prime, so prime, not prime, and prime. Yep, there we go. 121 is not prime. Let's see what it says. False. There we go. 121 is not prime. All right, there we go. Thanks, folks. It's a good example, but yeah, see, the code works. And what's weird is it's really not good at getting me my IntelliSense right now. Now, that could be because I didn't have this turned on. The smart mode? Yeah. Console right line. Okay, is it coming up now? Top left. Okay. I am getting it, but it's a little slow now. What, like 36 is a great choice of another false? Now, the other thing I'm wondering about that I haven't seen yet, and it's just maybe because it's not in here, I wasn't seeing anything about unit testing yet, so I don't know if they have like a test explorer of some kind in here. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything about testing inside of here. I'm not seeing anything about testing in here. So, what I'm wondering is, do they have plans for that? Or are they thinking that if you're going that route, you're running something like, I don't know. Yeah, so, but what's weird about that is that I kind of feel like there should be some balance between, like, I want the basic understanding of auto-completing type, you know, like essentially the simple IntelliSense versus, you know, more advanced suggestions. Because smart mode feels like, you know, it's going to go to the level of ReSharper, whereas I want, you know, the basic Visual Studio IntelliSense completion. Yeah, yes. With Fleet, you won't write any bugs, so you don't need it. Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, I checked in tools right now to see if it was in here, but I checked actions first. So I looked in here, and then I checked in tools, and it doesn't have it here. So I checked both. If less than one return, if less than or equal to one, return false. If that, yeah. Yeah, so if you do that, then you can do the one that's what did you do, Mystic? You did the one where you checked if it was divisible by 2 or 3, and then you set it to 5 and said, well, it's less than n. I don't like that. You're going up really high with that. You're trying to do the increase by 2s. But you can do that concept that you're going for, Mystic, with the while loop, with the for loop also. Essentially, you can check 2 and then start it at 3, right? If you check for all the divisible by 2s, but then additionally, if you really were going to write this, as long as you're not checking an individual one, what you can actually do is, like if you were creating a sequence, for example, you can divide only by primes up to numbers that are smaller than the square root, smaller than or equal to the square root. So you only actually need to check for divisors that are prime numbers, which is kind of what you're doing with incrementing by, I'm assuming you're incrementing by 2 or something? You're incrementing by 6, because you can get, yeah, you're incrementing because you remove the 2s and the 3s. So you're finding a way to check fewer numbers, which does kind of work. You're still going up to too high of a candidate, I think, though, because you're going up while less than n, which is the number you're checking, you only need to go up to the square root of n. So you can trim yours down a little bit if you change your while loop. Now, that is an additional calculation, but I would recommend you do it one time before you go in. I'm not 100% on whether this is... I think this is going to get executed every time. So in theory, I should put this out here and say the limit equals, you know, the math square root of this, right? If I were actually trying to do this efficiently, I should probably put that there and then make this be the limit, right? So something like that. And yes, you could use the C verb. Yes, you are correct, Fuel Snavel. You can do that. Now that uses more memory to go that route because you have to store the set. But yes, there are different ways of doing this. Yeah, exactly. Icy Black. Icy Black Deep is correct. Yeah, that's what the JIT's for. Yeah, I just. Okay, so. Yes, Mystic Soda. Then only go up to half of n, Mystic Soda, if you don't like it. Instead of doing that, set it to half. Do candidate divided by 2. Do that. That would be enough. Even that would save you, right? Divided by 2. And actually, since you started over, you started with higher numbers. Since did you jump past? Yeah, you started at I equals 5. So could you get away with dividing by 3? Would that remove 6 and 7? Divide by 3? Yeah, you could divide by 3. Because of where you started, you could set your limit to divide by 3. You could say limit, you could do candidate divided by 3, and that could be your new limit. Instead of going up to n. Vasily, is it running the ads right now? Am I on ad break? I don't pay attention to them. Yeah, it prevents the preload ads. Or grab the internal prim array inside of the framework. Yeah. N is the number. Yeah, it's the number we're checking. Yeah, no, I understand what you're doing, Mystic. I'm fairly certain. Alright, so here's Mystic's code. We'll put this here. Public bool Mystic code. It did not format that correctly. Do they have a format document? Reformat code. There we go. Okay. So int n. Yeah. Yes. Oh, you did this. Never mind. Yeah, you got it. You have I times I. Yep, you're good. You checked it that way. Yep. Yep, you're good. Yep. You've got one of those there? Yeah. The concept works just fine. But yes. Yeah, Mystic, you are totally right. Yep, you did the exact same thing. Mine explains the concept, yours solves the same problem. So yep. Your divisor you just multiply out so you can check that. The advantage of doing the advantage of doing the initial one is for very large numbers, you're going to do this multiplication multiple times because you're going to have to do this for every I, and I changes more often. So for very large numbers, it would probably be more efficient to limit the n instead, but you come to the same result. Although I don't know the speed of the math square root calculation might be slow enough that yours ends up being better. We'd need to benchmark it to actually figure out how they run. But yeah. There you go. Now it compiles. But yeah, this should do the same thing. Yep, return true, and if n%. Yep. Huh. Yes, a triple equals in C# makes no sense. I'm assuming you wrote this in JavaScript, but the idea being that yes, over here in the C# world we don't have a triple equals, but the concept would apply. What's it complaining about? Why does it have a red squiggy? Oh, static. Bool. All right, cool. Well, either way, they disapproved to add in C#. I wonder what. don't we have, I thought we had the bitwise, and and equals assignment operators, but maybe I'm misremembering. I was thinking we had those, but I'm not 100% on that. I thought we did. Either way, I am going to wrap the stream here. Before everybody actually, don't leave. Couple of things. I want to remind everybody that I actually have been doing, so I posted some links in chat. There are links down below. I really have been posting a whole bunch of interesting YouTube videos, and I'm hoping that our Twitch community can help me out in promoting some of the stuff that we're doing there. I've been making lots of different videos on different topics. Some of them fun, some of them just preference stuff, silly things. But I have a handful that are already scheduled and going to come out. Also, if you're not in our Discord, I really do recommend joining it, as it is a fun community. I'm hoping to get more chatter in there than we've had recently, but we used to have a lot. There are a lot of people in there, and it really is a friendly community. It's a nice group of people. I'm trying to think of what else I should say. If you're not following me on Twitter, you can also follow me on there, which you'll find in there. There is more chatter in the Discord, and we do. There's more dev chatter, yeah. And so I want to thank everybody that showed up today and followed, subscribed, and chatted and hung out with us. This was an interesting look at Fleet. I'm not super sold on it. It's not bad, but it's definitely incomplete. Again, remember, this is a preview. This is not like a released version. This is supposed to be incomplete. That's why they were doing this, and I'm hoping that they get a lot of good feedback. I'm intending to give them some feedback based on what we saw today while messing with this. Anyway, yeah. So I appreciate everybody coming out. I don't think we're going to do a weekend stream this weekend. However, I am hoping to get in a couple of streams next week. So again, be sure that you are paying attention for those. I tend to send out a notification in our Discord, so if you're in there, you'll get that. If you follow me on Twitter, you'll probably get a notification, though that's going to be the most delayed one. So the best way is follow us on here and have notifications. Next best way is to check my Discord, where I usually post ahead of time, at least a little bit before we go live. I have not been sticking to my old schedule, so I maybe will get back to that at some point, but we'll see. Either way, thanks for hanging out, everyone. Have a great day, happy coding, and here comes the XP ending screen. Take care.